Hi guys, today we are learning about the scientific method. So let's get started. Science is used to study the world around us. Anyone can be a scientist by testing ideas in the real world, using observations and the scientific method. Sorry, got a little tongue-tied there. An observation is knowledge or information gained by using our 5 senses: sight, smell, taste, touch, and hear. A prediction is a forecast about what might happen in the future and is based on facts or evidence. An inference is an untested explanation backed up by background knowledge and current data or information. During the video, jot down the 5 steps of the scientific method. So we're going to go here and then I'll watch it and you guys will watch it. So let me tap it real quick. There we go.
Dear Tim and Moby, I'm watering my plant all the time and its leaves are still turning brown. What's going wrong? From Ben. Well, you could just look up the plant gardening book, but this is a really great opportunity to talk about scientific methods. Often, when people are trying to understand the world around them, they come across a problem they just don't know the answer to. This is where step-by-step methods of scientific problem-solving come into play. Looks like Moby's having the same problem with his plant. The first step in scientific problem-solving is to recognize the problem. Right. The plant is dying even though it's getting water every day. Why? To solve this problem, we first need to understand what we already know. Okay, plants need water. What kind of plant is that? Fig tree, right. Now we need to make some observations about the plant. The leaves are brown and falling off, and the soil is wet and squishy. Next, we make an inference. The inference is a conclusion about our observations. From what we've observed, we can infer that Moby is watering plants too much. Now we translate our inference into a hypothesis.
But
Scientific methods.
because I had the
Often, when people are trying to understand the world around them, they come across a problem they just don't know the answer to. This is where step-by-step methods of scientific problem-solving come into play. Looks like Moby's having the same problem with his plant. The first step in scientific problem-solving is to recognize the problem.
the problem. It will be up
Plant is
there
dying even
or
though it's getting
up
water
there.
every day. Why? To solve this problem, we first need to understand what we already know. Okay, plants need water. What kind of plant is that? Fig tree, right. Now we need to make some observations about the plant. The leaves are brown and falling off, and the soil is wet and squishy. Next, we make an inference. The inference is a conclusion about our observations. From what we've observed, we could infer that Moby is watering his plant too much. Now we translate our inference into a hypothesis. Well, hypothesis is any statement we can test with an experiment. What about fig plants should only be watered once a week? Well, sure, it's just a guess. After our observations, at least it's an educated guess. We'll need to come up with an experiment to test this hypothesis. Here's the plan. We've got 3 healthy fig plants marked A, B, and C. They have the same type of pot, the same soil, and they're getting the same amount of sunlight, so the only variable is the amount of water they'll be getting. Plant A will not be watered at all. Plant B will be watered every day. And Plant C will be watered once a week. We'll check back in a month to see what's happened. What do you know, it's been a month and I'm still wearing the same shirt. Let's record some new observations. Plant A doesn't look too good. B doesn't look so hot either. Whoa there, Plant C is doing alright. Time to analyze our data. Based on this experiment and our observations, it looks like the fig plant did best when it was only watered once a week. From that, we can conclude that fig plants grow best when they're watered once a week. Now we get to tell other people about our results and spread the word that plants only need watering once a week. Well, yeah, to be really sure, we should repeat this experiment several times, just to rule out accidents and variables that we may have forgotten to consider. But you get the point. Using scientific methods can help you be right more often, and not just in science class. You just have to make sure you do all the steps. If you form a hypothesis without making any observations, then you really are just guessing. And you'll never know if your hypothesis is true or not without testing it with an experiment.